Hi everyone, this is your host and your coach, Dr. Mary Ayers from tapintooaction.com. And today we're going to do some work around what to do when you have feelings. When you're stuck in feelings, you know you do not want to be feeling. You know that they're low quality feelings. You know that they're heavy, that it doesn't feel good, and yet you don't know what to do to get out of it. Well, today we're going to look at 4 steps that you can take that will help you get unstuck when you are feeling like you're feeling a feeling I no longer want to feel. I'm aware I want to change it. How do I do it? Today we're going to do a lot of how we do it. First of all, I want you to think about feelings you know you don't like to feel. Maybe that's embarrassed. Maybe that's lack of confidence. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's being anxious. Those are just a few examples of feelings that most people would say, I don't enjoy feeling this. I don't want to feel this way. You're aware of the feelings you do not want to have, but isn't it surprising how when we know we don't want to be feeling a particular feeling, we end up perseverating on it. We notice it, we watch it, we examine it, we even amplify it in the body. It's like, okay, I want to push this away, but the more I'm pushing it away, or how I'm pushing it away, ends up being more and more focused on it. And intellectually, logically, we can say to ourselves, you know what, I really should be thinking about something else. And that is a good conscious thought. You've heard me say it dozens of times, probably closer to hundreds, is that there's only 5% of us that is the conscious mind that is saying, I logically know I should be thinking something else. And yet the body, which is 95%, is really weighed down. There's a good amount of momentum on that feeling I do not want to have. And so always the solution is, if I can change the way my body feels, then my thoughts will change as well. Body first, change what my body is feeling, and then my thoughts will change as well. So how do I make those changes in my body? And that's what we're going to be looking at today, and that's what we're going to do some tapping on. The very first thing that I want you to be aware of is to not get sucked into the story. When we have certain feelings in the body, our mind starts looking for why that is. What in my current environment, what in my past environment felt like this? What is this? So our mind is very aware of what we're feeling, and it's looking for the reasons for why we're feeling it. And you know what happens is we'll come up with them. As a matter of fact, we don't come up with a few of them. A momentum starts to happen, building more and more stories. And it's like, this matches this feeling. And I can be thinking about this stressor, and I can think about work stress, and I can think family stress, I can think health stress, I can think money stress, I can think that neighbor stress, I can think about my in-laws or a boss, or you see where I'm going with this. It's just the fact that I can have endless stories that will match this feeling. If we get sucked into the stories, they'll just start gathering steam, and next thing you know, you'll find yourself really bogged down, and your body will feel even more congested, more confused, more overwhelmed. So the very first thing you want to be careful is to not get sucked into the story. So what do you do instead? Which is number 2, which is notice the feelings in your body. Now, I know my coaching clients go, oh, God, it's always notice the feelings in your body. But it's true. It's the feeling in my body that I want to shift. So notice it. What is it? Is it heavy? Is it constricted? Is there pain? Is there butterflies? Is there tension? What is it and where is it? So you want to be aware of the way the body's responding to those thoughts. And then that's when we tap. Once we've got the awareness, that third step is that's when I start doing my tapping. A couple of pointers and tips about your tapping right here is that if you've got a lot of tension, a lot of momentum going, let's say you gave a number to the feeling in your body, and that was pretty high, 8s and 9s, then what it means is you may be doing some tapping for a little bit. Don't be surprised if you're tapping for 10, 15, maybe even 20 minutes, because there is a lot of momentum on it. And because it's also typical for people to kind of start to get sucked back into the story and to really focus on that feeling. And that's okay if you end up finding yourself going back and forth, but know that it may take a little extra time. Be willing to put the time into it. The other thing that can happen, I hear from people, is that sometimes they get lost on the words. That's a very common concern for people, is I don't know the words. Well, most of the words that you're going to be using are about this feeling. Maybe it's a feeling of fear. Maybe it's a feeling of overwhelm. Maybe it's constriction in my chest. Maybe it's this sick feeling in my stomach, or the tension in my back or in my neck. We want to keep the words simple because we want to keep our words focused on the feeling. It gives a little simplicity, it streamlines it a little bit. You're not having to figure out a whole bunch of past story on this. Right now, you're just working on shifting the feeling in the body. And what exactly are we looking for when we're doing this tapping? Well, we're not looking to be, the world is filled with butterflies and roses. We're not trying to move ourselves into a super good feeling place. If it happens, great, but that's not necessarily our goal. Our goal is to help our body break the habit of being in the state of worry or overwhelm or whatever feeling that was. We want to help it break the habit of doing that. And so when you tap and you get some relief, say you're at a 10 and you end up being an 8, and then maybe you're a 6, that is relief from your body's perspective. That is helping to break and shake up that pattern in your body, in your mind. You're not letting it live there too long and put down roots. You're helping it to find some ease in shifting into a different gear. I'll use the metaphor of kind of like shifting gears, right? Is that it helps us teach the body how to shift out of that memorized feeling, that automatic, habituated, memorized feeling that we feel so often, which then gives us room to start to focus in a direction we want and to help our body redirect into learning how to feel and focus on other feelings, different feelings, probably feelings that we absolutely want to be feeling, like abundant and full and appreciative. So that fourth step is when you can, when you're ready, you're going to offer some possibilities. What feelings would I like to have? Now, here's the thing. Hopefully, you have created a list of feelings that you want to have. Maybe you did that work some other time where you wrote down, what are the feelings I really enjoy feeling, that I want to feel? I want to feel confident. I want to feel I belong. I want to feel I matter. I want to feel safe. I want to feel part of. I want to feel light. I want to feel possibility. See, all of these feelings, you want to have a list of them available and ready, because when you're in this kind of overwhelmed, stuck place and you're trying to reach into what do I want to feel, it's going to be difficult to do. If you have a list ready of the feelings you want to be feeling, that's going to be so helpful to you, because you'll be able to draw on it once you have brought some of these higher anxious feelings down and you're ready to reach for something that feels good. We want to have them available. So you can use the words that I use. You can write those down if you haven't done this. And I would encourage you to also, when you are feeling better, is to have that list available. Make your own list. I say always put it someplace where you can reach for it. Put it on a sticky, behind a door, behind a cabinet, some kind of place that you know where it is, so that when you need it, like now, you can go and grab it. So let's put this into practice. I'm going to suggest a feeling. I have talked to a friend of mine the other day, and she knew that she was really stuck in this feeling of nothing's working out for me. Now, that may be something that you can relate to. I want you to use what would be true for you. I'm going to use that feeling that she just felt of feeling so heavy, so despondent, almost blue, depressed, that just feels like there's not much joy, not much to look forward to. And it was a very heavy feeling, and she had been trying to shake it for a couple of days. And when we were talking, she had a chance to ask me what would I suggest, and I gave her exactly these hints and these tips to help her get out of it. And the beauty of it was, she had called me this morning and said, you know what, I really feel much better now. I needed to break that momentum, and every one of those tips was definitely spot on to help that happen. So let's just say that feeling is of nothing's working out for me. It's kind of a blues heavy feeling, okay? Find it for yourself what that feeling might be for you. You know you don't like it. You know you don't want to live there, but it just seems like it's holding on. The idea here, number one, is don't get sucked into the story with, this went wrong and that went wrong and this isn't working and that's not working and here's all my proof. First, stay away from the stories as best you can and notice the feeling in the body. Stick with the feeling in the body. I used some adjectives around that already. Heavy, stuck, little blue, some down feelings. So she's noticing the feelings in the body. Now comes the tapping. Do a quick check-in. Where do I feel this in my body? And what number would I give it? Does it feel like a lot? Would it feel more like an 8, 9? Then we say a lot. Some people have trouble with numbers, and it's like, okay, then just give it portions. A little bit, a lot, mediocre. If it's feeling a lot, just you have an appreciation of what a lot feels like. Take a moment just to get some stats on your feeling and then go to the karate chop. Even though I feel so heavy, like nothing's ever working out, it's never going to work out. And I can feel the weight of that statement. I feel the weight in my body. And I'm going to do my best to accept me right now. Even though my body feels heavy, it feels sad, full of despair. There's not much hope. I hate this feeling. I don't want to have this feeling. I'm going to do my best to accept myself right where I am. Even though my body feels heavy, like it's carrying a burden, I know it's thinking nothing's working out for me. It's never going to change. I get that there's a story that belongs to these feelings. And I'm still going to love and accept me right now. Let's go to the eyebrow, these heavy feelings in my body. Side of the eye, a little bit depressed. Under the eye, not feeling much hope. Under the nose, some sadness. Chin, it's the kind of feeling I have. Collarbone, when I think nothing's working out for me. Under the arm, things aren't going to ever work out for me. Top of the head, why bother? Back at the eyebrow, these heavy feelings in my body. Side of the eye, it feels like it's a fact. Under the eye, that things aren't going to work out for me. Under the nose, things aren't going to get better. On the chin, and perhaps I can remember. Collarbone, that my feelings don't always equal the facts. Under the arm, I am feeling blue. Top of the head, I acknowledge that. Back at the eyebrow, and I'm shifting those feelings now. Side of the eye, it's a habit of feeling. Under the eye, that I'm doing my best to break right now. Under the nose, I'm shifting that feeling right now. On the chin, lightening it up. Collarbone, softening it. Under the arm, giving it some room to change. Top of the head, inviting in new possibilities. Back at the eyebrow, inviting in feelings of possibility. Side of the eye, of hope. Under the eye, room to be wrong. Under the nose, room to create a new story. On the chin, a new story about what's going right. Collarbone, a story about what's going better. Under the arm, a story about what's coming. Top of the head, room to create a new story. And let's take that breath. Can you feel the shift in the feelings? Not maybe as heavy, maybe a little lighter, a little softer. You don't want to reach too far too fast and try to grab onto some idea that's too far in the possibility range. It's just you're not ready to reach all the way there. But the feeling of it's possible, the feeling of it could be a little bit possible, the feeling of it's moving in that direction. There's a little bit of spark in there, just a little bit more lightness. That is the beginning. That's how, at least from there, you are breaking some of that pattern. Now, that doesn't mean that you couldn't think the same old thoughts you were thinking before and slip back into it. But once we break it out of that frozen, stuck mold, it might be a little easier for you to add your tapping back until you've restabilized into that hopeful place that you like feeling. It's a small step in the direction of opening to some new ideas and new feelings. It's hard for us when we're so stuck to imagine that we're going to feel anything else. Hope comes from the idea of knowing that every time I shift gears, like we just did, then the possibility that I'm teaching my body how to recalibrate into some better feeling states and to make those our new norm. That was some great work that you did. I'm looking forward to hearing from you about how effective and how helpful that was. Just to let you know, my podcasts are now available on iTunes. You can subscribe to them. You'll hear when I'm doing new shows. I have a YouTube channel, Tap Into Action, where you can do some tapping with me on that channel. And you can also go to my homepage at tapintooaction.com and sign up for the Tapping Into Success. It's an audio, it's a workbook, help you on your way to getting more success in your life, more abundance in your life, or love, whatever it is you're looking for. So feel free to go pick up those resources. And if you would like to learn more about working with a coach so that you can deepen your tapping practice, feel free to email me at mary@tapintooaction.com. I do a free consultation. We can see how I can be helpful to you. And until next time, this is Dr. Mary Ayers. Stay brilliant. Hi, this is your Coach Mary, and I know that when it comes to taking action, there are times, no matter how sincere your intentions are, that you still can't get yourself to take action. I get it. Sometimes fear and anxiety can be so overwhelming that you don't even know where to begin. I want you to know you don't have to do it alone. So here's one action you can easily take. Go to tapintooaction.com to find resources to support you. And while you're there, you can download the powerful and popular How to Tap Your Way to Success audio and workbook. It's free. So go to tapintoaction.com